You're watching Beyond the Boundary on TOS Sports. In discussion today will be what happened in Guwahati, what happened in Kolkata, and how India has continued to struggle in tests at home. Under coach Gautam Gambhir, chief selector Ajit Agarkar, and majority of the players who featured in the Guwahati game and also featured in that 3-0 drubbing which we faced against New Zealand. Joining me today is Dwaipan Datta, who covered this test match from Guwahati. Welcome, Dwaipan. Uh,
Right.
eventful game. Eventful game. We didn't expect the series to have this kind of result when we were discussing the Eden Gardens test some time back. But Didi, it was a complete surrender, and the writing was pretty much on the wall after the way we bowled after reducing them for 240 for 6 odd on day one. But then it was always on the wall that this side will never going to come back in the test.
Yes, there was never a chance in this game to come back once that Muthusami and Niansen partnership happened. So when 480 was on the board for South Africa at that point of time, we knew that uh, India is not winning this game. Whatever it is, they are not winning this game. Probably that idea of not winning this game took the fight out of India. I think that is one thing I felt could have happened, that they lost the will to fight because they would have lost the series. But then that doesn't explain the kind of shot selection that India had in the first innings from 90 for 1 to 120 for 7, as Gautam Gambhir pointed out, is absolutely not justifiable. That was one part of the story. Second part of the story is that yesterday Shukri Conrad, the South African coach, said that they wanted to make India grovel. Uh,
Yeah,
a racist comment, tinged with racism, though probably he did not mean it to be that harsh, because today Babuma said that it has a bit of history attached to it because of what probably Bumrah said. He didn't mention that, what Bumrah
yeah,
said about that Bona thing, that
yeah,
so that must have played a part. So but then an Indian team should have taken that as a stimulus and fought on and fought for a draw, made South Africa grovel to for that victory, because if South Africa hadn't, there are WTC points involved. It could finally come down to India versus South Africa, a point here and a point there. So even if it was a draw, it would have been some sort of a respite for India, but no application, zero
yeah,
application on the part of India today. Horrendous batting performance. I have not seen an Indian team lose as badly as this in many, many years, not even against New Zealand. There was a semblance of fight in the test, in all the three New Zealand test matches, but here there
yeah,
was zero fight, and
yeah,
some of the technical deficiencies of the players. Uh, Sai Sudarshan bats 130 balls, I think, scores 14 runs, and gets
yeah,
four lives. Four lives, a number three player, and he still
yeah,
can't make anything out of it. He should
yeah,
not be playing for India. It is a simple, it's a clear as daylight. That I don't
yeah,
know how and why they are persisting with him. Uh, he should just go back to Ranji Trophy cricket, figure out his red ball game, and then even dream of making a comeback. He is not
yeah.
cut out for Test cricket.
No,
So
fair, fair
and the
point.
rest followed, of course.
Yeah. Fair point. I think you very rightly mentioned that we all knew that this test was going down the drain the moment South Africa piled on the runs they did. But the way we batted DDY, I think that was the bigger concern. That that no stomach for fight. Rishabh Pant dancing down the track, then Nitish Reddy reverse sweeping second, third ball of his innings, where all you had to do was play proper cricket. Don't think too much about it. Just what Jadeja did before dancing down the track again. All these things, the questions are getting stronger and louder now, DDY, and we have been raising these points both in the Times of India and in our daily show TOI Sports, that the need for specialists is kind of hurting. The absence of specialists in the batting order is hurting, and this stopgap arrangement and this utility nonsense has to stop if you have to do well in Test cricket. That I think that should be the biggest learning before we go back to the press conference, which again became the talking point.
Yes, like a lot of things. This specialist part is also a part of it. But tell me, Sahil, are there enough specialists in the country who are better than those who are playing? Like Nitish
No,
Reddy, an extremely ordinary player. Like after that Melbourne century till today, he has done nothing. Nothing means nothing, and he is playing on the basis of his apparent pace bowling, which he bowls 5 6 overs in when the team bowls 150 overs. So he's, they do not have confidence in his pace bowling. He comes to bat at 7 or 8, and bats
yeah,
batting poorly is understatement. But the problem
yeah,
is that I do not, many people have asked me, uh, like, aren't there any specialists? I am asking you, you follow domestic cricket more than I do. Are there
yeah,
any good specialists? Ravichandran is a name that I have been hearing for
yeah,
a bit the past few days. Maybe he is a prospect for the future, for in the days to come in the next season. I was having a long conversation with Deep Dasgupta yesterday. He was telling me that, like, you have to, when you see a talent, a test cricketer who can be good in test cricket, preserve him for test cricket in
yeah,
the first phase of his career. Give him
yeah,
if need be, the economic incentive so that he does not lose his game in search of white ball madness. If he does that, then it is very difficult to come back, remodel his game, and become good in red ball cricket. It is a very difficult journey, and it does not happen very easily. South Africa,
yeah,
look at this South African team. There are so many specialists, so many
yeah,
specialists. Babu, Mar, even in that then this Ozzy, etc. Like there's so many boys who are specialists. So
yeah.
these are the things that we should learn, see, and understand. We are a fantastic white ball side and a terrible red ball side, to put it mildly.
Yeah, and terrible red ball side, and things are going from bad to worse. Really, before the series started, Shubman Gill was joking that hope he wins the WTC final toss. And on that note, I welcome Gaur Gupta, who is joining us from Mumbai. Hello, Gigi bhai. Just on that note, Gigi bhai, I'll give you the cue there. Shubman Gill mentioned कि होप आई विन द WTC फाइनल टॉस और ऐसा ही एक ब्रवाडो आया था रोहित शर्मा से after the Indore game, before the Indore game, BGT, where Rohit said that they have already called up Shardul Thakur and asked him to get ready for WTC final. India lost that game. India lost these two games. So, Gigi bhai, a lot is going wrong in Test cricket right now as far as India is concerned. कहीं ना कहीं आपको लगता है that whole transition thing which was downplayed by Gambhir in England. Now he spoke at length today in the press conference. I'll come to DD on that because he was in Guwahati attending that PC. आपको कहीं ना कहीं लग रहा है वो जो एक एडमेंस था कि विराट और रोहित को हटाना है और अश्विन को फेज आउट करना है, फेज आउट कर दिया, हटा दिया, निकाल दिया, पर बैकअप कोई रेडी नहीं था. So now when they are gone, you don't really know who your number 4 is going to be, number 3 is going to be. और ये प्रॉब्लम पहले नहीं था. पहले भी transitions हुए हैं. When a Dravid went, there was a Pujara. When a Lakshman or a Ganguly went, there was a Rahane in the works. When a Tendulkar went, there was a Virat. So you saw chief selectors, you saw the likes of Engsakar, MSK Prasad, Chris Srikanth doing the due diligence by keeping the backups ready. बट अजीत अगरकर एंड गौतम गंभीर बहुत ज्यादा इंस्टिंक्ट पे काम कर रहे हैं और अगला असाइनमेंट के बियॉन्ड सोच ही नहीं रहे हैं. ऐसा आपको कमी लग रहा है ब्लूप्रिंट पे इंडियन क्रिकेट के?
नहीं यार दोस्त, ये सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम ये है कि यहाँ पर कोई मतलब सी द ट्रांजिशन नीडेड टू बी डन. ओके,
या
let's start from Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli were performing very badly in Test cricket for the last 1 year. I have no sympathies on that count. You know, and I really hope that अब ये सब ना शुरू हो जाए कि उनको वापस लाओ, फिर से खिलाओ. Now that we have stepped into the future, please invest in these guys, and not these guys. The problem is the people that you have chosen. Sai Sudarshan was never your number 3. he was always a very shaky number three. I keep going back to that Sulakshan Kulkarni point when he said ये बंदा टेस्ट क्रिकेट के लिए नहीं बना है, ये व्हाइट बॉल का बंदा है, ठीक है. And he said that in TY Chennai edition, and I read that story and I was like, he's it takes guts to say that, and he's been proven 200% right after this thing. और ये सिर्फ अभी इंडिया में जो थोड़ा बहुत खेला है और इंग्लैंड में खेला उसी पे कन्विंस हो गए हम. So your investment in him was completely foolish. That investment should have happened on Karun Nair or Sarfaraz Khan. चलो वो तो नहीं किया. आप फिर उसके बाद उठा के सी शुभमन गिल fitted in very nicely at the number 4 slot. So we cannot say that number 4 nahi mila. Shubman Gill did pretty well there, found a new spot for himself after having struggled till that point in his test career. So he did pretty well. It's just that unfortunately he was injured, and that was a huge setback for us. But then to replace him with Nitish Kumar Reddy, I mean, that was atrocious. What is the message that you're trying to send to all your domestic batters across the country, those who are performing well in the Ranji Trophy? The problem with Gautam Gambhir and Ajit Agarkar is that they have absolutely zero connect with the domestic cricket that is being played, because I don't see them anywhere, in terms of, I don't know how much they follow domestic cricket.
Didi, just quickly asking you, me and Didi were discussing this point आपके आने से पहले.
हाँ.
Didi और मैं यही बात कर रहे थे कि हम डोमेस्टिक की बात करते हैं, but who actually are the players you think could replace Nitish Reddy right now? अभी ऑप्शन है क्या अपने पास अगर हम स्पेशलिस्ट बैटर की बात करें?
यार अगर हम Nitish Reddy और ध्रुव, if we are struggling to replace Nitish Reddy and Dhruv Jurel, then I think we are on our way to become Namibia and Scotland and USA जो हमारे ग्रुप में.
मैं आपसे वही पूछ रहा हूँ कि आपको क्या लगता है अगर हम 2-3
स्पेशलिस्ट है. I mean, Karun Nair, don't you think Karun Nair was shunted out too soon? I mean, थोड़ा जल्दी हो गई उसको भगाने में, या फिर सरफराज खान के साथ नाइंसाफी हुई है. Those are the players who have done well in domestic cricket in the last 4-5 years. Not now.
Simon Harman is also 36 years old.
Exactly.
Karun Nair is 35 or 36. Simon Harman is 36 years old. What does age have to do with this?
It doesn't. If you're performing well in domestic cricket, then you deserve to be there. That has not happened in Indian cricket for a long time because you are picking IPL performers in Test cricket. Nitish Kumar Reddy is a classic example, or a lot of the others. Sai Sudarshan is a classic example. All these guys have done well in IPL, not in domestic. This thing. So like that. So and then I think it's a collectively loss of confidence bhi ho gaya hai. I couldn't imagine that Yashasvi Jaiswal playing so poor shots in both the innings, getting out. KL Rahul completely beaten by Simon Harmer, turning ball. So somewhere I think it's a loss of confidence also, and I think it's a momentum thing. One team is completely down and out and keeps getting into a shell, going into a shell, and keeps getting worse and worse. This same Rishabh Pant has won us so many Test matches in the past. So you cannot. I feel you cannot go after him because 3-4 innings में वो नहीं चला है, because this is the way he'll play. So to sort of target him for short selection, I'm not convinced whether you can do that. तो मुझे लगता है कि कहीं ना कहीं it's definitely a huge selectorial. It's a management problem. The players are the last line in this in this whole chain. It is a management issue. The way the transition has been implemented, trying to depend on bits and pieces players, trying to depend on all rounders all the time.
That is what I want to ask you. That is what I wanted to ask you earlier also. If I would ask you 3 players who can replace Nitish Reddy, Sai Sudarshan, and Dhruv Jurel in the current 11, who would you pick from the current domestic lot? 3 names.
Sarfaraz Khan, Karun Nair, and I'll tell you there are many more. Maybe Rituraj Gaikwad is doing well, has been doing well in this thing, domestic cricket. Sorry,
Maran Ravichandran.
Yeah. I doubt कि ये जो हमारी क्रिकेट चला रहे हैं अभी जो लोग, इनको नाम भी पता होंगे इनके, तो I really doubt, या शायद कभी देखा भी होगा इनको खेलते हुए, तो like that. And even अभिमन्यु ईश्वरन यार, एटलीस्ट एक चांस तो दे देते उसको. अगर यही सब लोग खेल रहे हैं, if a Dhruv Jurel is playing or a Nitish Reddy is playing, why can't Abhinav Eshwaran come and play at number 3?
Didi, आपका क्या thought है? Because not a lot of people who come from Calcutta are a big fan of Abhimanyu Easwaran, and some of them are very good friends of yours. मैं आपसे भी पूछना चाहता हूँ अभिमन्यु ईश्वरन का स्टोरी क्या है? मतलब देखो, मैंने इतना I've seen bits and pieces of him in the nets, of course, when he used to come. लेट बैटिंग करता था इंग्लैंड में भी, क्योंकि कभी कंसिडरेशन में था ही नहीं, तो आप थोड़ा बहुत ही देखते हो उनको. फिर उसके बाद थोड़ा रणजी ट्रॉफी के अंदर इधर उधर देखा है. आपने जितना देखा है या सुना है, बात की है, क्या प्रॉब्लम लग रहा है अभिमन्यु ईश्वरन का? क्यों नहीं खेल रहा?
देखो, अभिमन्यु ईश्वरन का the problem that Abhimanyu Eshwaran has had is that he has not got big runs in important games that matter, games just before the selection of a first 11, games,
Yeah,
uh, then Ranji Trophy knockouts, matches that are being followed, where the selectors are watching. In those games, he has failed.
yeah,
True, that is something that is not that that is not a marker for his temperament. Like that does not show his temperament in good light. Having said that, you have been investing on this guy for such a long time. You have been taking him to different
yeah,
continents across the world, making him a tourist with the team. So when you are playing in India, you know for a fact that Abhimanyu Ishwaran is a very good player of spin. Everyone, whoever I have spoken to, even in the Bengal circuit, because I know a few on the Bengal circuit, they have all told me that he's a fabulous player of spin bowling. So when you are struggling against spin, if your struggle is against spin, then, and if you think he is not meant to be an opener, play him. If you can play Washington Sundar at three on one day and eight on the other day, then you can very well play Abhimanyu Ishwaran in the middle order and try him out, see if he stands up to the challenge against spin bowling. Like
yeah,
Simon Harbour and Keshav Maharaj are good spinners, but they're not unplayable spinners. And this
yeah,
pitch was not an unplayable pitch. I could understand Eden Gardens, but this was not an unplayable pitch by any means. It was
yeah,
very, very playable. Like you could easily save the test match. It was a matter of one pair batting out one session on day 5. The match would have been saved. Today, the
yeah,
South African captain said that they did not believe that it will be that easy. Either captain or Harmer, I'm forgetting who said. One of them said that it's easy as in like they will match will end so quickly. So
yeah.
it's very very sad. It's very unfortunate.
No, on that note, we'll take a quick super chat from Greg Chappal. It's not Greg Chappal, it's Greg Chappal. This guy is at home. This is unthinkable. No Indian Test coach ever did that. What force in world is stopping this coach from getting sacked? Like who? Gigi. Who is saving Gautam Gambhir? The other Gigi. Or do you think it will be a harsh call right now to sack him
Yeah,
before the World Cup? Or do you think it is
it will.
required to do a
It
quick?
will be.
I
It
would
will
like
be. I
both
think
of
the
you on
BCI will take its time. I saw Mr. Devajit Saikia's comment somewhere, the BCI secretary, and he was defending him rigorously. So I think a harsh step तो it will be haste में step नहीं लेगा, harsh तो नहीं होगा वो, haste में नहीं
Hmm.
लेंगे ये लोग step, ठीक है, and they will sort of beat around the bush ये वो, they will hope that the country's mood changes, T20 white ball में थोड़ा सा series जीत जाएं ये वो, and then we have a good white ball season, culminating in a T20 World Cup victory or something like that. Then this thing कल ही जोशो खरोश से T20 World Cup
Ah,
का शेड्यूल अनाउंस किया
yeah,
गया,
correct.
एक तो मुझे समझ में नहीं आता, all these launches are also beginning to look very very, it's like a Ranji Trophy launch. There's no international flavor to it. There's Surya Kumar Yadav, there's Rohit Sharma. It's not like Shane Watson is coming, or somebody from Sanat Jayasuriya is coming. We are trumpeting our old white ball success. We are actually obsessed with our white ball success, and I think that is one reason why we fail in Test cricket. We are failing it. So
Yeah.
like that. So that is why I mentioned that point.
तो अभी
So I
अभी
think,
अभी अभी
हाँ,
अभी मैं डीडी के बताता हूँ। डीडी जब बीजीटी हारे थे, हम 3-1 हारे, बीजीटी हारने के बाद दो विलन बन गए ड्रेसिंग रूम के, सरफराज खान क्योंकि allegedly there were some discipline issues, and then Abhishek Nair again for non-cricketing reasons. They were out of the setup and they have never returned to the setup since then. Then you come to players. Players को आपने क्या बोला कि इनकी पार्टनर्स को और इनके बीवी बच्चों का टूर पे आना बंद करा दो, इनके शेफ का हम अरेंजमेंट नहीं करेंगे, हम कुछ नहीं करेंगे, रेस्ट एवरीथिंग रिमेन्ड फाइन, सितांशु कोटक वॉक्स इन, व्हाट विल हैपन नाउ? विल दे आस्क देम टू ट्रैवल कि अब रांची जाना है तो ट्रेन में जाओ, स्लीपर में जाओ, सेकंड एसी में जाओ, क्या करेंगे? क्रिकेटिंग डिस्कशन तो इस कंट्री में कोई करने को रेडी ही नहीं है कि मतलब वे फॉरवर्ड क्रिकेटिंग वाइज कैसे निकाले हम?
देखो ये सब these things do not matter. What we need is like probably 25 players. What used to happen earlier, like you choose 20-25 players, make them play spin bowling on spinner friendly tracks, have a has a rigorous 1 month camp. Like you are not playing test cricket in another 8 months. So you choose your 15, 20 players who will probably be your future investments. Take them to NCA, put them on red soil turners, black soil turners with coaches, make them play on that. Like even if they some of them play IPL, after IPL there is gap. So take do instead of sending them on inconsequential, meaningless, contextless
Bal-
ODI and T20 series. Send 5, 7, 10 players to a camp with coaches, scruff up the wickets, and
yeah,
and and allow them to learn. That is the only way. I do not think there is a I know, like everyone knows. It's not me knowing. Everyone knows. Like Tendulkar's story is well known. The Matthew Hayden story. Matthew Hayden, when he was first playing, he could not play spin. So before the 2001 series, he came to
yeah,
Chennai MRF Academy. In that he scruffed up those pitches and learned to play. And what a colossal player of spin bowling he became. Like India could not get him out for the next 10 years. So you can become good if you put in the hard yards, but you have to put in the hard yards. If you are like Sai Sudarshan, like he's probably a sincere guy, but he doesn't have the game. You can see that he cannot play spin, red ball spin. He's probably fine playing spin in white ball, but when he's playing spin, red ball spin, he cannot play. He compulsively goes to the back foot. His two legs are joined, so can't maneuver his body on the onside. He gets stuck, hard hands. There is nowhere to go on a turner. So these things need a strong, solid working. You cannot do this overnight. It has to have some planning.
yeah. I'm very
Instead
true.
of those silly stupid things that those disciplinary things, these are the things
Yeah,
that they should do. What used to happen earlier, there used to be camps. Where are the camps?
yeah. I think the last which happened was before the Asia Cup in Allur, before the World Cup, 23 World Cup and Asia Cup से पहले last एक लगा था उसके बाद से तो सब बंद हो गया. Okay. On that note, we will quickly start taking some super chats. First is from Dikshita. Um, if I may request the producer to flash it. Yes. Harsh call, bhai, what more you all want? Nil 3 versus New Zealand. Without New Zealand best player Kane, nil 2 at home. Without South Africa's best player Rabada, what more in test? Fair point, fair assessment. Let's move on to the next one. Steve Tokolo is saying, Sahil bhai, is it the first time common Indian fan wants India to lose? In my office, everyone said, अच्छा है हारे, जीजी की मनमानी खत्म होगी. Why this? जीजी क्या लग रहा है आपको ऐसा? आपके ऑफिस में भी हुआ क्या चर्चा? बॉम्बे
मैंने
ऑफिस में
बताया था
खलबली.
मैं थोड़े दिन पहले शो में बताया था ना, अजीत अगरकर गॉट वाज सेटल्ड at the airport. I think ये शो में मैंने बताया था थोड़े दिन पहले.
Oh,
Like somebody I know,
okay.
yeah, somebody I know was telling me that Agarkar was traveling on some flight, and I fear this for Gambhir also now. You know, in
Yeah.
fact, Gambhir
रोहित
might have to extra security.
आज हुआ ना गुवाहाटी में गंभीर हाय हाय गंभीर वापस जाओ चालू हो गए नारेबाजी.
गंभीर को थोड़ा एक्स्ट्रा
I just
सिक्योरिटी मांगनी पड़ेगी, अभी थोड़ा एक्स्ट्रा सिक्योरिटी मंगवानी पड़ेगी उसको. तो यहाँ फैंस
yeah.
थोड़े ज्यादा ही इमोशनल हैं, तो कोई
एक
अंडा
बार
वंडा
आपको अगरकर वाला एपिसोड रिपीट करो मैंने नहीं सुना ये तो बहुत
I
इंटरेस्टिंग चीज है सुनो.
Agarkar. So somebody I know was telling me that Agarkar had landed in Mumbai from
हाँ
somewhere, and he was there were a lot of passengers passing comments, very rude comments against
ओ
him, and within his earshot, and people at the waiting at the airport, जो मेन एरिया होता है वहां पर ये वो and हाय हाय और वो सब भी हो रहा था, and people were, and he was obviously, I think, must have put on earbuds or something and was in his own this thing, earphones and all,
या
but it wasn't a pleasant sight. That person was
या
telling me that it seemed like people were really sort of pissed with him. And I guess that was also after that Rocco heroics in the final match. So the immediate context being that इन लोगों को target किया जा रहा है, तो इसलिए like that. तो बट रोको को भी यार बहुत ज्यादा वो, मतलब ठीक है क्लास मैच में चले वो लोग, बट टेस्ट क्रिकेट में तो यार ठीक ही. I really don't blame it if people are really sort of blaming him for and Rohit for sidelining these two guys in test cricket. I
No,
do
no,
not agree
I
with
think
that completely. They
I
had
think
lost form and we needed to
they
move on. that format.
We had to move on, but the problem is we never had a plan of
Yeah,
after
yeah, yeah.
move.
The plan was bad. The plan and the people entrusted with taking Indian cricket forward were extremely
Yeah,
incompetent to do so. The players that they trusted were not the players that they needed to that they should have invested in, and now they're paying a heavy price. India has paid a heavy price for it. Even this shows
there's
that
one.
even your IPL, your coach should not come from the IPL. ये भी एक बहुत बड़ा lesson है ये. Somebody
वो
who's a mentor in an IPL team, not even the head coach of a team.
वो अरानी बोल रहा था ना कल, अगर मिशेल स्टार्क ने वो स्पेल ना डाला होता क्या पता हमें कोई और ही कोच मिलता, क्योंकि केकेआर फिर टाइटल जीतती नहीं, फिर उतना हल्ला होता नहीं, सारा हल्ला तो वहीं से शुरू हुआ कि जहां हाथ लगेगा सोना बन जाएगा। चलो अगला
Hmm.
सुपर चैट लेते हैं स्टीव टिकोलो का 655 वाला। 2015 इंडिया 2-3 ईयर एक्सपीरियंस प्लेयर कोहली रहाणे पुजारा विजय विजय वाइट वॉश साउथ अफ्रीका विच कंसिस्टेड ऑफ एबीडी आमला डुप्लेसी स्टेन बेस्ट टीम ऑफ दैट टाइम। Didi, your thoughts on this? You want to take this one? They're talking about the 2015 series.
Yeah, 2050. What is the question exactly?
Basically a comment कि उस टाइम पे हमारा एक्सपीरियंस स्क्वाड नहीं था, फिर भी we dominated South Africa, which had the likes of ABD, Amla, Duplessis, Stain, probably one of the better sides on paper, which has come to this part of the world.
But then we had Kohli, Rane, Pujara, Vijay. Like, these were terrific players, like terrific players of spin bowling, uh,
Yeah,
technically competent players, and you had Ashwin. Like most importantly, you had Ashwin. Like Ashwin was a superb spin bowler, like on Indian conditions. If
yeah,
there was a little bit of help available, like the way he used to use the angles, etc. Like Washington Sundar and Ashwin are like that comparison cannot happen. Like when Ashwin came in, it didn't take him too long to fill into uh, Harbhajan Singh's shoes. Though completely different bowlers, other than just being off spinners, they
yeah,
like it didn't take him too long. But this gulf between Ashwin and Washington Sundar is much bigger. Ashwin Washington is a good bat, but he's not a great bowler. Not a great bowler, and when there is nothing in the pitch, he's really ordinary. So
yeah,
those things are getting exposed. And another thing that is happening is this in 2015, India had figured out this quick finger spin of Jadeja as the killer killer blow, which other
yeah,
teams were still getting used to it. They did not know how to deal with it. Most of the teams. But
yeah,
now, 10 years down the line, every team has understood that this is India's tactic. They know they come prepared and they have their own left arm spinners who bowl quick through the air in those spots, and then they have the other spinners also. So the tables have turned. India's red ball batting quality has gone down, and the quality of spinners uh, has been kind of if not negated, neutralized. Like
yeah.
yeah, like India is no longer a spin force that they used to be 10 years ago.
Yeah. Let's move to the next super chat from IIT and Rima. 200 rupees super chat. Did you check video of Gigi Bood, Gambhir, Hi Hi, and Siraj steering those fans? KL2 Kotak seems super angry towards them. Siddhanshu Kotak is always in front of Gambhir, protecting him from the firing line. This is a good relationship brewing there. No one can survive 5-0 home, but do these Mithun Saikia have guts to sack, resign? क्या लगता है जीजी, सैक करेंगे? सैक वैक तो नहीं होने वाला।
सैक देखो अभी टाइम है उनके पास में ही गंभीर has proved himself as a white ball coach, so I don't think sacking applies in the white ball context. ये रेड बॉल
Yeah,
के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में डेफिनेटली अप्लाई करता है, एंड आई थिंक बहुत सारे कोचेस इन द पास्ट व्हाइट बॉल इंडिया के परफॉर्मेंसेस के बेसिस पे रेड बॉल सर्वाइव कर गए. आई रिमेंबर डंकन फ्लेचर was given an extension for 1 year by Mr. Nayaswamy Srinivasan in 2014, even though India, because they reached the final of the T20 World Cup in Bangladesh. तो उसके बेसिस पे उनको 1 साल का एक्सटेंशन मिल गया, और फिर वी वेंट टू इंग्लैंड दैट समर एंड वी वर वेरी वेरी बैड. वी जस्ट कुडंट प्ले द स्विंगिंग बॉल. We lost some 4-0 or something, 4-1 I think. The hot test match we won at Lords, and then ultimately Mr. Ravi Shastri had to be brought in as the director of cricket of the director of the Indian team. And Duncan Fletcher became a virtually a passenger because वो contract sign हो गया था उनके साथ में एक साल extra. So you were legally bound to with this, otherwise you would have had to pay huge compensation money. So I think वो factor जो है white ball we tend to mix it. So a brave thing for the BCCI will be to very clearly announce that we are leaving Gambhir of the test. This thing, there's too much burden on him, and he is henceforth in charge of the white ball team, and the red ball team is given to I don't know. They will have to really rack their brains and think who that white ball guy will be, because बहुत सोच समझ के वो decision लेना होगा. Because
Second
अभी जो
candidate तो second candidate तो WV Raman था
also
उस टाइम
follows
तो
domestic
interview
cricket. You have to have a coach who also follows domestic cricket. Otherwise, बहुत तकलीफ हो जाएगी because अभी जो coaches they don't follow domestic cricket at all. They are just in their international cricket bubble, and that is the problem. And I think apart from Gambhir, the gun should also be pointed at the selectors and the assistant coach. The batting coach Sitanshu Kotak. ठीक है वो सबसे ज्यादा उनको प्रोटेक्ट कर रहे हैं बट उनके उनकी मेरे हिसाब से उनकी पोजीशन सबसे ज्यादा खतरे में है with the way the batsmen have been playing. you know so the whole review of the structure needs to happen, and I'm sure the BCCI will swing into action. ऐसा तो नहीं होने वाला because a lot of fans emotions and feelings have been hurt.
Yeah, we'll quickly move towards the last segment of the show. Last few super chats. चीकू वड़ा पाव 2.0 चीकू वड़ा पाव 2.0 ये तो डेडली कॉम्बो कर रही है यार. Not a right time, Gigi. It's an advice for you. Not a right time to use Gigi as initials. Next 2 days and people will forget this disastrous performance. Sack this arrogant, insane ego king right now. I don't know किसकी sacking की बात कर रहे हैं. हमारे जीजी के अंदर तो कोई ईगो नहीं है. अगला चलते हैं प्रोसंजीत आना 4270. इसके बाद जीजी रोहित कोहली को कुछ नहीं कर पाएगा. ये डिडी आई वांट टू पिक योर ब्रेन ऑन दिस. ये अभी एक नैरेटिव अभी नया ताजा ताजा मार्केट में आया है. अब गंभीर बैकफुट पे है एज अ कोच. तो अभी इट विल बी अ फ्री पास इन ओडीआईज. अभी रोहित विराट जो कर रहे हैं करो. और अभी तो विराट इतना चीयरफुल लास्ट जो 2 एयरपोर्ट साइटिंग पे दिखे हैं. नो एयरपोर्ट्स इन द एयर, स्टेपिंग आउट, गिविंग पिक्चर्स, स्माइलिंग विद सौरभ तिवारी इन रांची. क्या हो रहा है जीजी डीडी सॉरी व्हाट्स हैपनिंग इन इंडियन क्रिकेट राइट नाउ?
An Instagram post from his brother which was deleted later. Yeah,
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah.
brother who is very close to Virat. So which was deleted and which said quite a lot of things. So yes, there is a there like Gautam Gambhir, and we know for a fact that he probably does not want them around. Even today, when I asked Gambhir about this, why are Indian players such sitting ducks against spin since that New Zealand series? Immediately, what he said was, "Don't bring in the New Zealand series because that was a completely different team."
बट
What he
वाई
meant
व्हाट?
to
हाँ बट वो लॉजिक
what
क्या
he
था?
हाँ, वो लॉजिक है कि वहां पे what obviously was that वहां पे विराट और रोहित था. So you
हाँ.
can very well understand the dislike that he has for these two guys. Like so, yeah. अभी तो नहीं
अभी ये
चलेगा
रन
नहीं.
कर अभी रन करते रहे
Yeah,
तो क्या करोगे भाई? लाइकिंग
अभी तो
डिसलाइकिंग.
अभी तो कुछ क्वेश्चन ही नहीं है. Only thing,
हाँ.
see, I think what is crucial for Gautam Gambhir is the T20 World Cup. क्योंकि वो अगर T20 World Cup मैनेज हो जीत जाता है ना, then I am telling you, those of you guys who are today up in arms will again send super chats praising Gautam Gambhir and saying how good he is. That is
And
the tricky part.
that will include a few turncoat journalists also. No fingers pointed at anyone. It's our community में से बहुत है जो बिल्कुल पलटी मार देंगे.
हाँ
And that,
तो
that is, and that is where BCCI, the visionaries, will be laughing in their board cabins and telling हमें तो पता
Yeah.
था ये व्हाइट बॉल में कुछ करने के लिए आया है. तो चलो अगला सुपर चैट लेते हैं. बहुत सारे सुपर चैट्स और आ गए हैं. स्टीव टिकोलो 72. लेट्स स्टार्ट फ्रॉम दैट. इफ यू कैन स्टार्ट फ्लैशिंग. There's a 200 rupee super chat also. We'll take that after this. For batting, सुंदर को अश्विन के आगे खिलाकर who made Ashwin retire? We are not angry for Roko, but for tactics of GG. Dubé second pacer in Asia Cup final. Wow. यार एशिया का फाइनल में तो फोर्थ पेसर था बिकॉज हार्दिक वाज इंजर्ड. So let's cut some slack there. And Dubé did a fine job with the new ball under pressure against Pakistan. So let's give credit where it's due. That was a brave call, and it worked. It worked. Whatever works is fine. I Saim Arka 200 rupees का एक और super chat आया, and this is a very interesting one. Gigi, I'll take your comment on this. It's sad that no one discusses Rinku's name. Beyond his 60 first class average and 48 list A average, season after season and match after match, he has been carrying UP on his shoulders, batting with tailenders. It's a very fair point.
कैन ही बोल? कोच को तो बॉलर,
No,
कोच को ऐसा बॉलर चाहिए जो कि पूरे दो चार सीरीज में बॉलिंग ही ना डाले, लेकिन वो थोड़ा सा बैटिंग भी करता हो। वैसे प्लेयर्स चाहिए उसको, तो भाई क्या करेगा कोई? आई डाउट दैट आवर सेलेक्टर्स आर इवन सीन हिम इन एक्शन। मैं तो आई हैव लॉस्ट ऑल कॉन्फिडेंस इन देम। और शायद जीजी ने तो उसको थोड़ा केकेआर में देखा होगा, उसको पता भी नहीं होगा शायद
yeah,
कि रेड बॉल खेलता भी है वो। कोई उसको बता देगा जरा कि अरे सर ये तो रेड बॉल भी
just,
खेलता है, बट वो बोलेगा अरे नहीं यार वो बॉलिंग डालता है क्या, तो फिर ले सकते हैं, अदरवाइज नहीं यार, पॉसिबल नहीं है। This is a mess, yeah. You've got such good players who are performing so well in domestic cricket, but there's absolutely no way that they're ever going to play for India unless the thinking and these personnel change who managing Indian cricket. I keep going back to that point.
yeah. We'll take our last super chat before we take the final comment from each one of you. IIT and Rima is saying in white ball, Gigi's first real test is T20 World Cup. Vipin bhai, you were mentioning about this कि अगर World Cup जीत गए तो सारे पाप धुल जाएंगे. But do you think वर्ल्ड कप जीत के भी आप ये टेस्ट का जो ड्रबिंग है, और विल दिस रिमेन द डार्क स्पॉट इन इंडियन क्रिकेट हिस्ट्री फॉर एवर probably now, because last time it happened
They,
was 40 years ago.
yeah, yeah, like we lost 5 out of 7 tests at home before 1959. So
Yeah,
we have to go that long. So you can very well. So this is going like I have written in my copy today. Like Gautam Gambhir will have to live with the fact that this is India's biggest defeat in terms of runs, 408 run loss. This is in he has to live with like no T20 success can save him from this ignominy of 408 run defeat. So
yeah,
yes, uh, and but I think what if they win the T20 World Cup, they will make peace with the fact that okay, fine, we are not playing the WTC final this time because we are going through a transition. आज वो बोलते रहे transition, transition, transition. He kept saying that. Okay,
इंग्लैंड
like
डांट दिया
this,
था इंग्लैंड में, हम में
this
से
is the
किसी ने
first
पूछा ट्रांजिशन पे तो हमें डांट दिया था इंग्लैंड में कि ट्रांजिशन
हाँ
तो कुछ
वहां
होता
पे
ही नहीं.
डांट दिया वहां पे डांट दिया था यहाँ पे बोल रहा है कि बैटिंग भी ट्रांजिशन में है बॉलिंग भी ट्रांजिशन में है और ज्यादा टीम्स के साथ ऐसा होता नहीं है तो so you should cut some slack so that is what he was saying so basically he has run out of answers that is the problem like in test cricket he has run out of answers so uh,
Yeah,
that's how it is. That's how it is going to be. But I hope this humiliation that we have suffered in red ball cricket, this humiliation stays. Because we are going to win in white ball. Right? Again, these 12 games that we have in the lead up to the World Cup, like 6 T20s and 6 ODIs. I hope this uh, people do not forget this humiliation. ये humiliation रहना चाहिए,
it
which
should hurt.
didn't didn't happen when that 3-0 loss against New Zealand and the 3-1 loss against Australia took place.
Yeah.
People forgot it far too soon.
Yeah, the last super chat of the day. हार्दिक इंजर्ड हुए. अच्छा ये भी आ गया क्या? ये रिंकू वाला हो गया. Can we go to Steve Ticolo the last super chat? 100 rupees 7-9. ये वाला ले लिया. ओके साहिल भाई, हार्दिक इंजर्ड है तो दुबे सेकंड पेसर. वाओ, अर्शदीप बॉलिंग करना भूल गया था. प्ले दुबे सेकंड पेसर वर्सेस ऑस्ट्रेलिया, इंग्लैंड, साउथ अफ्रीका. घोड़े खोल देंगे वो उसके. अब देखो भाई, वो कॉल उसका काम कर गया. अब उसके अंदर अब हम क्या कर सकते हैं? इफ यू आस्क मी or if you ask anyone in the panel, all of them would agree Arshdeep should be one of the first few names on a T20 team sheet. But the coach thinks otherwise. He's getting results with that otherwise thinking. But I doubt they will come if you keep Arshdeep on the bench for this long. He has to start in every T20 game for India, even if it comes at the cost of another utility player or someone
He
like
should
that.
have, Arshdeep should have played in the tests in England. He should have played in the tests in England. He should have
He
played
was very
there. Yeah,
he
yeah.
was
And then perhaps you could have had somebody who could have given you breakthroughs with the new ball even in India. when the ball is swinging
Yeah,
around. Maybe in conditions in Guwahati where there's early morning start. You know.
yeah, yeah. So on that note, a lot of discussions today, and yes, as Dwaipan left that note that this should hurt. This should hurt everyone in that BCCI in those BCCI corridors. This should hurt everyone who thinks good or wants to think good about Indian cricket. This should hurt Chief Selector Ajit Agarkar. This should hurt Coach Gautam Gambhir. This should hurt every player in the dressing room because not every day you lose 2-0 to South Africa at home, that too after 3-0, going down 3-0 to New Zealand. So, on that note, this was our latest dispatch of Beyond the Boundary. Keep tuning in. Tomorrow is the WPL auction. I will be there myself. Gigi will be keeping a tab with his expert takes on what's happening and how the big buys and the big steals are unfolding. So stay tuned into TOS Sports. Like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell icon to stay notified. Till then, take very good care of yourself. Very safe journey to Dwaipan from Guwahati to Chennai. Have a lovely flight, and we hope to see you all very soon. Thank you for tuning in.